Well, welcome to the Chico Creates podcast, where we interview local artists, musicians, and makers from here in Chico, California. I'm your host, Kira Barsotti, and with me today is the band Furlough Fridays.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Furlough Fridays is a Chico-based, high-energy post-grunge band, and they've been rocking the North State since 2008. They've opened for worldwide bands like Hailstorm, Buckcherry, Floater, Unwritten Law, Salvia, and Strung Out. They've played to sold-out crowds at the Senator Theater here in Chico, the famous Dip in Redding, Redding's The Park, Temple Music, and Chico's Lost on Main. In 2012, they won the Hard Rock Cafe Tahoe Battle of the Bands as well. The band is comprised of two married couples, Minnie Mental on lead vocals, JP on drums, and Meagatron, bass and backing vocals, and Adam on guitar. Recently, just this last November, they released their 6th album, Whimsical Sweatshirts, and in conjunction with the album, they produced handmade, pristinely designed sweatshirts with customized logos representing key tracks from the album. Whimsical Sweatshirts is available on all platforms right now, and we are going to get into it. So I've got 4 of you here today, so we'll all be polite in sharing the mics, I'm sure, but I'd love to know more about all y'all beyond the bio. We could start with, like, how did you guys all meet and how did the band form?
How did we meet? It was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's several versions of the story. I would say, in my opinion, I'm Adam. And
In my opinion.
that's true.
In my opinion.
Yes, this is key.
true.
Yeah, try to, like,
your opinion, who are you?
name each other as you're talking.
JP and I met working at Sears, going to college. We were selling appliances, and we were fast friends. And at one point we decided, hey, I think our wives would get along. And so we started hanging out, the 4 of us. And that over a few months period merged into our wives, Linda, who is Minnie Mental, and Megan hanging out and starting their own band. And over the course of a couple of years, JP and I ended up being in the band.
Awesome.
Yeah. JP and I were on the Chico State cycling team together, and then I went to go watch a bike race, and I met Linda there. She was working on a cake topper for his birthday cake.
Oh, cool.
So that was pretty fun. That was when I first saw her.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Who's telling the true
bike.
story?
It was
Yeah.
very
I
impressive.
know. History is malleable.
Yes,
True.
it is. So who are the victors? That's the
I'd say the past is a
question.
different country and things are done differently there.
Mm. That's true.
That has nothing to do with our story, right?
No, but it's true. So some of you are based in Chico. Like the band is based in Chico.
Yep.
What brought y'all to Chico? School for everyone?
Well, my family moved here in 1990
Okay.
from Santa Barbara area. So I just was a tag along as a child. So I've been here since then. Went to school and college here.
Okay.
Yep. Adam and I came here for school, Chico State,
Yep.
and then stayed for, 10 years
Mhm.
at least. Yeah.
We're from the northern part. Well, northern. We're from Redding, Red Bluff area.
For high school.
Yeah. And so when we got married, we finished up at Shasta College up there and then came down for Chico State.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. There.
My parents are from the Bay Area, but we moved to this area when I was pretty young
Mhm.
and just stayed.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a similar story. I moved up here from Davis which, not quite the Bay Area, but it definitely,
Yeah.
we moved to Paradise, a little bit of a shock to my system when I was 12. But obviously we stayed put also. So yeah, it has a sticking power.
Yeah.
this
Chico's
area.
fun.
Yeah, Chico is like the Lotus Eaters. It's like so comfortable. You can
Yes.
just stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to like. I love to travel, but I can't say I've ever been anywhere where I've not been glad to be back home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got stuck on Lotus Eaters. I've never heard that phrase before. What's that mean?
Oh, it's like a myth. I think it's a Greek myth where they eat the lotus and they just become very content. It's like everyone's
yeah.
Almost complacent. Yeah.
everyone's nodding off on lotus. You know,
In Egypt,
On
they have the
lotus.
lotus flower for all their sensual
Mm-hmm.
things.
Sensual?
Cartouches.
Like
no, not
erotic?
a cartouche. Hieroglyphs. Anyways.
Fun.
so that's
Mhm,
Chico.
mhm.
You know, you play shows, you play all the great little venues here, and you're so happy, and you never want to
Mhm.
leave.
Yeah.
It's true.
Exactly.
It's true.
We constantly, right now, Megan and I live in Redding.
For work,
For
yeah.
work purposes, and we constantly daydream about
Oh, yeah,
coming
we'll
back
come
to
back
Chico one day.
Mm-hmm.
soon.
It'll happen.
Something weird about the city. It's like
Yeah.
hypnotic. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, my husband and I were desperate to get out, and then we were desperate to get back.
Where'd you go?
We spent 5 years in Santa Cruz for his PhD in math, and then we spent a couple years in Virginia, and then the pandemic happened, and the fire happened, and yeah, it was time to come home. So yeah. So we're very glad to be back. And we bought a house and had a baby, so we're here for a while.
That'll do it.
Yep. So in Chico, what is each of y'all's favorite place to hang out or play? Either way.
I guess when we go out, it's usually when we're playing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's shifted around over the years, so it's hard to find that new place. I think that we're feeling like we belong, I guess. It used to be Maltese. We loved that place.
Yeah.
And of
I
course,
saw the lights on in there the other day. I don't know if that's...
I saw painters out there just yesterday, actually. So something's happening.
I hope it comes back.
Oh, that'd be great.
That'd be amazing.
Something's happening. So.
Yeah.
Is it closed?
It is, yeah.
I mean, I know.
Yeah. So, I mean...
Sorry, excuse me.
I'll save the gossip for off air.
Oh, okay.
But,
I thought it just switched owners. I didn't know it totally closed.
No, it closed. But yeah, hopefully it comes back. That would be our local bar that's right by where we live. So we want it to come back. Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, we love the people at Gnarly Deli. They're cool people and they're our friends. And, the owner of Naked Lounge, Brandon, he's been a good friend of ours for a long time. He actually officiated our wedding almost 20 years ago.
He even shaved his beard for it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's commitment to friendship there.
Yeah.
And cut his hair. And let me tell you, you think he's handsome now? You should see that baby boy.
I have pictures. Yeah. So, I mean, of course, we love Naked Lounge. The Winchester Goose is pretty fun.
Yeah.
So we've been playing there sometimes, and I think that right now that's been our little triangle of fun in Chico when it comes to playing shows.
Nice.
I miss Cafe Coda.
Oh gosh,
yeah. I want them to bring back shows.
They're doing like family friendly outdoor events during the summer.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
I feel like as a band, we cut our teeth like in Cafe Coda shows.
Yeah.
Well, that's our very first show was at Cafe Coda.
Oh, nice.
With
West by Swan.
West by Swan, the Shivas, and the Great Good.
Awesome.
That was our very first show.
That's great. Yeah, that was. I hope they bring back the rock shows in the evening because that was such a great spot.
I don't think they will. I don't get the impression they will.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
seems like they're kind of changing direction.
Mm-hmm.
Were they doing stuff in the backyard? I
they
read
are.
something about that.
Yeah. They do like pop-up events and things a lot over the summer. I think the Chico Print Party was hosted there last summer. So yeah, more
There's
like
also
art
like this
stuff.
food truck thing, outside food truck venue going on. Is that?
Yeah, they've been
what it's
doing
called.
that too. I don't know how often, but definitely a summer thing. Yeah. So how did each of you get into making music? When did you know it was what you wanted to do?
I don't know if it was ever anything I wanted to do. I just like karaoke, and then Megan picked up on that and asked if I wanted to sing for the band, and so I kind of got pulled in like that. But the strange thing is, I was really into writing poetry, and so I feel like that kind of transferred pretty well into songwriting.
Yeah, for sure.
So it just kind of happened unexpectedly.
Yeah, I always wanted to learn how to play guitar. I play bass now, but I always wanted to learn how to play guitar, but we could never afford lessons, and nobody in my family growing up knew how to play guitar. So when I married Adam, who knew how to play guitar, he taught me how to play bass.
Cool.
And so from the time our baby was like 4 months old, I just started learning at home. I can't read music to save my life, so it's all by ear, which is a good and a bad thing. Good creatively, I think, but bad because I have trouble communicating with musicians who want
Megan,
me
you
to
say
read
you don't
music.
read music, but what you're not saying is that you've created your own musical language, even with
I like that.
her own way of notating and everything like that.
Oh,
So
cool.
just because you don't read, traditional music, you actually do have a musical language of your own.
Thanks,
so you should take
Brandon.
credit for
Aw.
Speaking of hieroglyphics and such.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my guitar has a bunch of weird things on it that nobody reads but me, but that's just because I'm autistic or
That's
something.
awesome.
I don't know.
Was it Brain Stew? I think Brain Stew was the first song that you learned.
Yeah, and Weezer.
Yeah. And Damn It, I think by Blink-182,
Just real
like the
simple,
easiest.
simple, like 4-note stuff, and you just learn how to keep up with the tempo, and that's the hardest part, getting your hands to be fast enough to keep up with the easy tempo, and then eventually start writing your own bass
For real.
solos and songs. It just a matter of
Dave
time.
Grohl said it best. You just got to suck till you don't suck,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think I'm
100%.
paraphrasing, but yeah.
So something about like you just if you love it, just start doing it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And don't care what
Yeah.
people think and just do it.
For me, I had a phenomenal desk in French class. It was the corner of the desk had this great rattle because it was a little bit loose. And the part next to my stomach there had a nice bass thump. And if you click your pencil, and then you could tap the leg of the desk with your foot and get a little cling, cling, cling like that. You could really rock some beats. And so I would jam out in class a lot. I would also play the dashboard of the car while my buddy drove around. And
You were a drummer before you were
I think
a drummer.
I think everybody's a drummer in that way. So I'm always kind of tapping on things. And I didn't even play drums till I joined the band. They asked me to join the band. I bought a drum set, and that was it.
We begged you to join the band.
On a trampoline.
We spent like many hours sitting on a trampoline late in the evening after a show? After Sam told us he was moving.
Yeah.
He was our drummer before.
Oh, okay.
He had been our fourth drummer, I think.
Yeah, but he was like our first real drummer, like where we felt like we were a real band with someone, you know? And so he was moving away, and we were like, no. So we were just like, JP, we know you can drum. Just join the band. And it took some convincing, but we talked him into it.
Love it.
I think ultimately we knew that it just like, because JP at the time was band babysitter. And we all had babies at the time, and JP was watching our kids while we played with other musicians, right? And then when they all kind of came in and left eventually, and it just boiled down to the three, Megan, Linda, and me. And so we sat on this trampoline that was in Linda and JP's backyard. They were actually holding on to it for us because we move all the time, and so they were helping us out. And so that's where we begged him to be our drummer. We just knew it was the best way to go.
Well, because we're a band of friends first and foremost.
Yeah.
Like talent can come with time, and not saying we're all talented. I feel like we're very happy with ourselves, but yeah, friendship is the first thing that matters. And so the fact that JP was one of our best friends is like,
just makes sense.
oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Adam, why did you start playing guitar?
Oh, it's a long story. I started playing guitar because it was really hard to get a ska band going. And so I started.
Oh, you were a brass player.
Yeah, I started in clarinet in 4th grade, and then saxophone in middle school, and then when I was done with high school, I started a ska band, and that was really hard to keep together because ska bands are, in my opinion, hard because there's like 8 or 9 people involved, and it's just hard to being in a band is hard to organize people's schedules more than anything else.
Yeah.
And so I realized at one point, if I really wanted to continue doing music, I had to learn how to play a string instrument. So I started on bass, and then from bass to guitar, just power chords. Yeah. Instead of fishing or whatever hobbies, music is my thing. So
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm curious about the songwriting process with each of you. Linda, you mentioned that you love to write poetry. But is songwriting between you guys kind of a collaborative thing, or does one person kind of spearhead that?
I think we all stick to our parts. So, I mean, JP would do his drums. Megan writes her bass parts. Adam writes the guitar. And I write lyrics, vocal melodies.
Nice.
And it usually starts with an idea that Adam has.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he'll either show it to me or he'll show it at band practice. And then I would come up with whatever vocals would go with that. And we all just kind of come together.
I feel like Stupid Love was the most straightforward writing process we've had, in my opinion.
I actually really struggled with that one.
Really?
I don't know if you remember, but I rewrote it several times until I was happy with it. That one was hard for me. Yeah.
I love how it worked out because I had like this, guitar part, right? And you just like went outside for an hour, as I saw while we were trying to get some recording done for other songs. And you just busted it out. I was really impressed.
Yeah, Linda has a talent of coming up with lyrics quickly, and I don't think what I like is that I don't feel like you get in your way with lyric writing. You don't second guess yourself very much. There's a few times where we'll collaborate in the recording process. We'll say, well, oh, what if we change this lyric, or what if we go for a different vibe here? But pretty often, what you come up with seems to be, I don't know, almost like a first take victory a lot of times.
Well, I don't think that it feels that way. But thank you.
I'll say we're never waiting for Linda. She's usually waiting for us.
She's ready to go. That's cool.
Gosh. Well, one of us will take a bathroom break and we come back and there's a new song.
That has happened multiple times. Yeah.
Mostly to Megan. Mostly Megan goes to the bathroom.
She spends a lot of time in the
Not
bathroom.
long.
Actually, that's something you should know about
What was
Megan.
I doing in the bathroom?
She's way into fiber.
Oh my gosh,
I'm
here we
not
go.
pooping. Oh my gosh. Remember I had that chai mate latte? I have a routine. I'm good. By the time we get here, I'm ready for the day.
Forget about it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, man, the writing process is efficient, fast, prolific as heck.
Much like your bathroom experience.
Thanks. You're just jealous. It's okay. They're giving me a hard time because they're jealous. But yeah, I love that we are each creative. We're each allowed to be creative in this. I could not be in a band that told me what to play for every song, and I'm just there as a tool. I have to be allowed to be creative, or I'm not happy. So I think we all have that freedom, and that's what makes it work.
The other strength is that Adam is like a human tape recorder.
No.
If we do something like 5 practices ago, he'll remember exactly what we did. And then if we changed it 2 or 3 times, he can like revert to each one of those versions just naturally.
Oh, thank you.
And that's just clean, natural living.
Yes, super handy.
Yeah.
Well, but you know, it's like I'm talking about like trying to tell you, I've tried to tell you what to do, JP, and I've tried to tell Megan what to do. I feel like I've never tried to tell Linda what to do, but the bossy musician in me, since I've been doing this in 4th grade, I think, you know, every musician wants to be a little bit bossy, but just it took me several years to figure out that it's best for me just to like have my part and then just be flexible and wait, because that's when the best music comes out.
Well, he'll make great suggestions because I'm not, you know, the best bass player in the world or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but he'll make great suggestions and I'll try it. And if I like it, I'll do it. But I prefer to write my own stuff.
Yeah, not being too dear with any part that you write is really an advantage. And I think that's a strength that we have. It's like, well, okay, that wasn't working. We'll spend, you know, you could spend like 3 hours trying to work out something that you think is like theoretically very cool, but it just doesn't have vibe. And then you say, no, let's just do it simple. Let's go simpler. And then you're like, yeah, that's the way. Okay. So you throw away like hours of work.
I used to get so butthurt about that.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, no, I want it to be like this. You know, and it's taken some time to get over that.
Yeah, I think our writing has, if I may say so, I think that we lately have just been going with the flow writing. I think just kind of letting the songs write themselves to a large extent, and I think it's been really, I don't know, it's cool. I like it.
Better now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So was that, would you say, exemplified in your latest album, Whimsical Sweatshirts?
I mean, I think that my experience was a little different. I mean, I think it may seem like it's coming easily to me, but this most recent project that we did was more challenging for me, I think, because I wanted to go back to it several times to make it better. There were certain songs I felt like had so much more potential, and I didn't want to settle for the first idea that I had. I felt like there could be something better, and I think that pretty much maybe even all of the songs I had that experience. And I think that's just where I am currently as a songwriter.
Sure.
I'm trying to challenge myself and really push myself to get the best potential out of whatever it is that I'm making, because I'm a very intentional person, and so I really do like having a lot of meaning in something, and that's why you'll never really see any curse words in my lyrics. I just feel like there's too many vocabulary words to throw just such empty language in there. And so I like making sure whatever I'm doing, I'm a fan of it.
Yeah. That's important.
Yeah, actually, your lyrics on the latest album really resonate with me too. I think it's some of your best work, and it's. I don't mean to say that the songs are like, you know, being written without thought, but like my personal my personal journey with drumming has been one of actually simplification. When I first started drumming, I said, "Oh, I learned these tricks. I want to like throw every trick in there." And like and as I've grown as a drummer, you know, over the last 10 years or so, I've learned that I think the song is more gratifying when I just provide foundation and support for it, and try not to. I only try to speak where it's really like effective in the song. And I think that if you compare my drumming on this latest album with previous work that we've done, I think it has more impact.
Yeah.
And I've found myself striving to be as simple as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I feel like the proof is in the pudding when we do shows recently with that. And also I would say I'm trying on my part to be more simple as well. Thanks to JP and Linda. JP and Linda have really helped me to simplify. I always want to throw in like a 45-second bridge in every song and then this long drawn out ending. And they're like, no, man, let's cut it down. Let's make it shorter. Let's more straightforward. And when I say proof is in the pudding, when we do shows, I feel like audiences who've never even heard this song, they respond to it a lot faster. They're moving and they're shaking, and it's getting the response that we want as a result.
I think one of the times that it really became clear to me is we did a New Year's show where we had all these songs. We played basically every song we'd ever written, plus a bunch of cover songs. And one of the cover songs was a Prince song. It was it
Party Like It's 1999.
And the beat in that is just doon ta doon ta doon ta doon ta, and the audience moves more than anything else.
Yeah.
For just 2 drums, you just need a snare and a kick.
Yeah,
and that's
he was a master.
Yeah, and I was just like, I was looking around at the crowd. I said, "Oh, they're getting into this more than anything else we played tonight."
Yeah,
and it's absolutely autopilot drumming.
Doing 6 templates and stuff.
Yeah,
nobody cares.
And there's some deep truth in that.
Absolutely.
That's what, of course, it's such a hit.
Yeah, no, it seems like, just what I'm hearing, it seems like you all have come to a place where you're like, you trust each other, you trust that your work is good, and it seems like that is like showing itself in the final product.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Adam's my favorite guitar player to play with, hands down. I feel like we finish each other's sentences musically. And I love playing music.
Musically.
Yeah, they definitely have a bromance. They've got a special bond between the two of them.
Yeah.
For sure.
Although I will say that I think Megan outperformed you on the most recent album. So,
she did.
Yeah.
I would agree.
She did. Yeah.
Well, I won't forget that comment.
It's always my opinion that bass is the most important member of the band.
Oh, you're sweet.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Of course, I am married to the bass player.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
No, I think the music writing on my end, it's like I said, it's prolific. It comes easy as far as how many songs we're able to just come up with brand new if we just sit down together and start playing music. I mean, we'll just start jamming on something. We can easily write a song in 5 minutes if we wanted to. We'll still work on it and perfect it and everything. I'm not saying we just bust out our whole album, but...
Well, there are 2 songs on the most recent album that we wrote, recorded, and released within a week.
Yeah, that's true.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
And they're 2 of my favorite songs, too.
Yeah.
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 Right. Yeah. Some magic there. That, like,
Rooted. I'm sorry.
Like I said, like, it's the time spent together, like, it I think you can't just jump into a project with random people and create something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels special. Like, I really am grateful for our band and the dynamics that we have.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, as musicians, people will kind of try little side projects here and there, and nothing is as easy and just creative as what we've got going on here, in my opinion, that I've found. So
that's awesome. How do you guys all balance family, jobs, and band life? Like you mentioned, scheduling is the biggest struggle.
For real.
I feel like I'm still trying to get them on board with Google Calendar.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll nag them like, you haven't accepted my calendar invite. What the heck?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I know a lot of it is that we just have to check with each other about times that are blacked out in terms of booking anything. So we just know where to focus our efforts when it comes to booking. JP and I are both really busy, both in the fall and the spring during like the most popular months for things to be happening, it seems like.
Yeah.
But usually April and May is just completely out for us, just in terms of work. So we try to like focus on times around that for band stuff. And I mean, it's a little easier with the kids now that they're older.
Mm-hmm.
When they were younger, it was pretty challenging. And I think we just had to be mindful about childcare and, but it's interesting how people will usually quit music or quit bands when they start their families.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a shame, because I think that's the most important time for you to stick to your passions, to demonstrate to your children how to do what you love, and to stay active with whatever it is that makes you happy. I think losing sight of that when you start your family is terrible timing and just a bad idea. I wouldn't recommend it.
Well, and also that we are all local pretty much, so we did have a lot of support from family and friends.
Mm-hmm. We did.
And I think Linda's right. As a result, I'm very proud that all three of our kids are extremely musical.
Mm-hmm.
They play multiple instruments, each of them, and they're creating their own music, and they're killing it. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm a relatively new mom, and I felt like in those early postpartum months, I completely lost myself. It's a shock to your system, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
And my art is how I kind of found who I was. So I think it's really important to hold to the things you're passionate about, not only as an example to your kids, but that was a huge piece of it for me too. Was like I want to still be the artist. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
If I may speak professionally for a minute. So in my job, I work with kids who have autism and a lot of their parents. And I see a lot of parents, when they have, challenging children, they do give up on their passions. And as a result, they get sad.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of see that get this dual impact where the sadness of the parents kind of wears off on the child, and the child then their behavior impacts the parents. It becomes this sad symbiotic relationship where they're just creating more and more and more sadness. And when the parents finally do start investing more in themselves to a degree, into something they're passionate about, they get happier, and then that then goes to the kid. And kids get happier when they have happy parents.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we just put our kid in daycare, which was a tough decision. But I feel like I'm such a better mom when I'm able to come back refreshed after having a day of doing adult things,
Yeah, for real.
And I know you got to do what's right for your family, but for me, just having that time and space to return to myself just makes me so much more eager to be his mom. So, yeah.
Yeah,
that's definitely true.
The secret is have kids in your early 20s while you're in college and having a part-time job, and then start a band.
Yeah.
That's really the perfect combination for success.
Yeah, and just throw the whole money thing out the window. Don't worry about money.
Yeah, just forget about
Just
that.
be poor.
Yeah, because the music is better. It's just better.
It's just
that
so
way.
much better.
All
I wouldn't
about the
trade it for
music.
anything.
It's about the music.
Yeah.
You got to love it. Linda and I were having a conversation with another local musician who was getting kind of frustrated. And we were both telling him, ultimately, it doesn't matter who comes to your show. It just matters that you are your biggest fan, that you love your music. And
Absolutely.
if the people want to have fun with it, they can or they can't. But we know we're cool, and we have fun.
Well, I think what Adam means by that is that when we go to a show, once we're on that stage and the time is ours, we are enjoying ourselves.
Yeah.
And this is our fun time for the week. And the audience is welcome to be a part of that and enjoy us. But for myself, I almost black out on stage, and I'm just like, it's time, let's go. I've been looking forward to this all week, all whatever.
Yeah.
And we're just having fun. We enjoy being up there.
Yeah.
And I hope that that's the case for everybody else. I think everybody enjoys being on stage playing their music. I don't see anyone who seems unhappy with it, but
and that energy is infectious for the audience too. And it's something I've been really trying to embrace for myself, and I try to give people that same advice, that if you're showing up for yourself first and foremost, your art is for you, people are going to recognize that it's authentic, that you are enjoying the process, and if you're not enjoying it, why are you even doing it?
Yeah.
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 So you gotta keep chasing that light.
Well, I figure it's when you're in a venue and you've got your audience there, however big or small it might be, we've all had probably a rough week.
Yeah.
Maybe we've had a great week. Maybe we've had some really awful things happen that week. But in this moment, once the music starts, we have a chance to forget about that for a little while and just be happy. And that's what I love the most about performances is it gets you away from any negative stuff going on in your life, hopefully, and gives you a chance to just relax for a second and focus on something totally different.
Love that.
I love it.
Yeah. So is there anything else that you guys want to talk about, share before we close out? Where can we get your album?
Streaming everywhere.
Awesome.
You can go to ffyeah.com. You can download a lot of our music from there, just from our Bandcamp. And I don't know. That's pretty much it.
Any shows coming up where we can see you?
The next one, the first one of the year, is going to be in Napa.
Oh, awesome.
At Jam Cellars. And it'll be kind of an intimate experience in this wine tasting room.
Awesome.
And then the next one in Chico is going to be February 17th at Winchester Goose.
Perfect.
So yeah.
Yeah, and then we're headed up to Reading.
Reading on March 2nd at the Dip.
Yep.
Cool.
And we are working on a few other dates.
Awesome.
I'm hoping to make it up to Grass Valley at this kombuchery. So
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
That'd be
That
so
sounds
cool.
awesome.
Cool.
I brew booch at home, so I would love to
Oh yeah.
go select some
Booch, please.
Oh, yeah.
taste test.
Excellent.
It was all
Some bottom
kombucha for
booch.
me my whole pregnancy.
Yes.
Nice.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Well, awesome.
I'm excited about our sweatshirts that
Mhm.
Yeah,
guys
say
made,
more
yeah.
about the sweatshirts.
I had little to do with it.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take this one. So, so I love to go to thrift stores and consignment shops and stuff like that. That's like my happy place, treasure hunting. And we were at the Orange Street Consignment, and I found a book that I just had to have. It was called Whimsical Sweatshirts, and inside it had all these patterns to make really cheesy, kind of cartoony, like applique, puff paint sort of sweatshirts,
Yeah.
like kind of like a la 1993.
Yeah.
And so we took it home. And I was just looking through this thing. And I said, this is the perfect merch idea for a band. And then
Yeah.
I was like, well, why don't we just make a whole album themed around whimsical sweatshirts? So we did, every song on the album had like a graphic that went on a sweatshirt in this sort of puff paint applique style. And we just rolled with it. And I think we made like, I don't know, 50 sweatshirts. And then we debuted them at the show. And I couldn't believe how many we sold. People loved them.
Oh, sure.
And it's just really fun. It's
Yeah.
kind of fun, kind of I don't know, crafty
Yes.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
So yeah, the sweatshirts are great. Linda made the bulk majority of them. I made a few. Megan made a few, and they're just great.
They
I
were
made
much
zero.
more successful than the male thongs that I've been doing for
That's true.
a
They
couple
were.
of years
They
now.
were.
Yeah, those
I-
didn't quite move
Wider
as fast.
audience, and then it also was great to go out and do a lot of yard sales and thrifting to get
Yeah.
more sweatshirts to
Right.
make. So we didn't actually buy any sweatshirts for the project. We used all recycled materials.
That's awesome.
So it's really great.
Yeah. Super cool.
It's very Chico, right?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Well, this has been a great conversation. Thank you guys all so much for coming out, talking to me, sharing your stories.
No, thank you for the invite.
Yeah. Last thing, what's your Instagram and what is your website for the audience?
A website is ffyeah.com. And pretty much our handles for any social media is always Furlough Fridays.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, great. This has been Chico Creates, and we will see you around town. Yay.
You only call me when you're lonely, darling, when you're wanting something to change.
If you love what we're doing with the show, please consider becoming a supporter for as little as $5 a month. And if nothing else, subscribing and leaving us a review on your favorite podcast player is always very much appreciated and will help other people find us and the stories we share. You can find Chico Creates on Instagram at chico.creates. Thank you for listening and being part of our community.